Hello, we are in Turkmenistan, which, as you can see, is a very different landscape than Afghanistan. That's because Turkmenistan is mostly desert. 70% of the country is taken by this desert, the Karakum Desert, which goes pretty much east to west, but we are in the eastern part and approaching a large river, the largest river in Turkmenistan, which is the Amudarya, which is also the border with Uzbekistan to the north. We are going to a city called Kerki. And let me start descending a little bit more. There is no ATC. I'm going to explain why pretty soon. So we're going to have to improvise a visual approach. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about Turkmenistan, the country right now. It's a very difficult country, a very strict dictatorship, almost North Korea-like, but it's less known to us in the West. And Kerki is a not very noteworthy city, but it had an international airport built there. The problem is the airport was became operational in 2021, and it's not in Flight Simulator, at least the actual international airport, which has a code of UTAE, Uniform Tango Alpha Echo. But if you input that in Flight Sim, you get a very completely different place, I think, in Tajikistan, about 500 miles from here. What we have in the simulator is this Uniform Tango 51, which is probably this, really. Just an airstrip, probably what existed before the international airport was built. So this is going to be a completely fictional approach, a visual approach. And yeah, I'm going to take this as a VFR landing really much. And of course, without the Navigraph and ThingBrief do have the current UTA Kerki airport, but if you try to load it with Beyond ATC, it gives you an error because this here does not correspond to what ThingBrief has, so you can't use Beyond ATC with that, and that's just, old nav data from Flight Sim. But that's what we have. That's the largest place we can land on eastern Turkmenistan, so that's why I wanted to get over here. So let's start preparing for some kind of landing. It's low terrain. The airport is 700 feet above sea level, so I want to descend to about 2,500 feet and then start maneuvering for the visual landing. I don't even know if this might not even be asphalt. This might be a dirt strip, so we're going to see. And of course we have no information about altitude or altimeter. Then I'm going to cheat and use the tablet for that. We're going to land on runway 34. And yeah, once we hit 5 miles, I'll turn right and start doing this. There is a VOR somewhere, probably around here. And yeah, I don't have any other information. Kerki, the city, is over here, but I couldn't really find anything again. Turkmenistan is not an easy place to find reliable information in English. or in any of the languages that I speak. So we are just going to land here near the Amudarya, which is an important river. It flows into the Aral Sea, which is, again, if you know the history, the Aral Sea is a different proposition. But I'll talk more about the Aral Sea once we're actually in Uzbekistan. So let's turn right. Sorry about the sound crackling. The sim has just been updated with Sim Update 2, and I think it's streaming a lot of data, a lot of new data. We are landing at runway 34, so I'm gonna keep that more or less as guidance. I'll hold altitude at 2,000 feet, more or less. And I'll soon turn left for our final approach. Oh, that's bad crackling. As it loads the desert, pretty much. Okay, turning towards the airport. It should be visible over there. I'll drop landing gear. Full props, full mixture. Start our final turn, flaps. We don't need to descend. Cutting power. Landscape is very indistinct, so to speak. But you can see the river. It's an important river. Basically the lifeblood of this area. And pretty much here we are over the Karakum Desert, and over to the northeast it's the Kizilkum Desert in Uzbekistan, so it pretty much splits the desert. Oh no, it does have, it's not a dirt strip. Okay, good. Not very long though, so let's do the thing. And I don't expect any sort of, hopefully just a windsock to help us on our way. Still a bit high. Really. Trim up a little bit more. Align. And head down towards the runway. Very slowly. I don't see a windsock just yet. Still loading some ground textures. We're too slow, we're gonna stall. Yeah. Yeah, no windsock. Just doesn't really. You're stalling. It does look old, this runway. This is probably remained from the Soviet era. Yeah, that, oh my god. That's barely a runway. Okay. Yeah, it's dirt. See, this sound it makes, it's so interesting. Yeah, this is definitely not an operational airport. Ian, that's the wrong one. That's where we came from, Harrod. Yeah, there's nothing here, see? It's just scenery. So yeah, we are in Kerki, Turkmenistan. Next time, I'll just stop here. No point taxiing or whatever. We'll cross the desert to the west and land at Mary, which is, I think, the largest city in southern Turkmenistan. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you there.